Hello, and welcome to Film Slam Stream's post-film conversation for Keepers of the Flame. My name is Eric Siler, and I'm an instructor of film, media arts, and communications, as well as moderator for this conversation. We're very pleased to be joined by an actress from Keepers of the Flame, Messeret Stroman Wheeler. Messeret is a New York-based actor who hails from Jacksonville, Florida. She can be seen in films such as The Best Man, The Final Chapter, the TV programs like The Sopranos, Law and Order SVU, along with numerous commercials, including Disney World, IKEA, Brawny, and more. So we are very pleased to be joined by the talented Messeret Stroman Wheeler. Hello and welcome.
Hello, Eric. Nice to be here. Thank you for having us in our film. We're excited to be a part of this.
I'm glad to have you as well, too. We must give credit to Ed Wheeler, who is a co-executive producer of this film, but unfortunately he can't join us. But tell us about how you and Ed are connected to this film.
So, Ed and I are co-executive producers of this film. We are also a married couple. We are also actors, New York-based actors. So, excuse me, we've been in the business for quite a while. And so that's how we are related. We're a husband and wife team who executive produced this piece.
So tell us, who brought the piece to who? Did you bring it to Ed, or did Ed bring it to you? How did it come about?
So, well, I have to take you back to 2018. I was working with a dear friend of mine, Judy Tate, who has a theater company called ASP Arts Collective. And we were looking to do a season in the coming year, and we were looking for a piece to fill a slot. And she sent me a script called In the Parlor. And I read it, and immediately I thought, this could be a great short film. I loved the characters. These were women we'd never seen before. And I loved the sisterhood that we saw in the piece. And so fast forward to, we performed the piece, and Judy said to me, I want you to do Mary Church Terrell. And I thought, oh, okay, great. Yes, absolutely. And we performed it to audiences, loved it. And I had in the back of my mind, we should do this as a short film at some point. But what happened was we were doing it with the theater company. So we performed it, of course, as a theater piece. And the director that we had for the piece, she actually, when we had our first rehearsal, she said to me, I think this would be a great short film. And I yeah, me too. And I'd never had that conversation with anyone. So I thought it was really interesting that she brought it up, that she thought it would be a great short film as well. And so fast forward to, we went through COVID, and in January 2022, I was speaking to Ed about it and thinking, what do you think about us doing it as a short film? And he said, yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it would be great. And so we spoke with the writer, Judy Tate, who's a 4-time Emmy Award-winning writer, and she agreed to let us adapt it, and we adapted it. We had a very fine director on board who's very seasoned director and DP and cinematographer, and our line producer, Tia Hodge. So I brought it, I guess you could say I kind of brought it to Ed, but we kind of both knew about it because I was performing in it. But that's kind of how we got the start of, we're introduced to it. It was at a play, and then we adapted it from that.
So when you adapted the film, did you see yourself as acting in the film?
Yes. I loved the role. Absolutely. And I thought, well, this is a great opportunity. And one of the things that my husband, Ed, has always said too, this is a great role. I think people should see you in this role. This is a great opportunity for you as an actor, for people to see your work. And, work begets work. So, the opportunity for more work to come. But definitely I saw myself in the role. Yes.
All right, so tell us about the production process. I noticed you were at one location pretty much. So how many days of filming were involved? Did you go through, what about pre-production, rehearsals and so forth? So take us through the whole production process.
So the first thing we did was we got our director on board, and her name is Sherry Lynette Carpenter. And she said to me, you need a line producer. So once you get your line producer, you're able to, set your budget and really figure out where the monies go in the process of the whole production. We got Tia Dion Hodge. We're very fortunate to get her. And so we worked to get our cinematographer, who's a seasoned guy, Kerwin Devonish. And with our actors, I had sent out information to the actors to ask. I said to them, Ed and I want to do this as a short film. Would you be interested? We'd love to have you. We were such a great ensemble. We'd love to have everybody. And everyone agreed. They loved the roles. They thought this was a very important piece, and they really were gung-ho to be on board. And so we then got we needed a place to shoot for our to shoot the piece. And we found a beautiful home here in New Jersey. And the woman was very, very eager to help us. And it was a beautiful place. We were just feeling, oh my gosh, how lucky are we to find this place? The home was built in the late 1800s, so it was right in the time period. The owner had said, well, look, you can use this, you can use that. She was just very generous with her home and her space. And we filmed there in 3 days. We knew it was going to be either 3 or 4 days. And we were really, because the actors had done these roles before, we had 1 day of rehearsal, and then we shot for 3 days. So we did have to bring in another young woman, though, because one of the actors booked a tour. So we had to bring on someone else, but she fit right in, and very professional. Everybody was really great. And we shot January 13th, 14th, 15th. So it was actually a year before. It took a year with all of the piecing everything together. Ed and I discussed it in January 2022, and January 2023 we filmed it. So that was pretty much the process of the production.
Interesting. So all the actors in the film were the same actors that were in the play as well?
With the exception of one.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that made it very convenient in terms of that. I'm curious about the production design and the costuming. Were those items taken from the play, or did you have to go out and seek items for that period?
Well, everything was kind of set. Well, the costuming, the idea was a kind of punk Victorian feel, and that idea was Judy and Diane, who was the director before. She actually had passed away, but we kind of stayed with that vein and used. We didn't use those costumes. We had new costumes for it. And as far as set design, it was a collaborative a collaborative deal with our director and our cinematographer, the woman who owned the house, our line producer. All of us, kind of had our hands in making, but the furniture, for the most part, was the owner's furniture. We had some pieces that were rented, but for the most part, a lot of that was actual furniture that she had. And she was very generous about us being able to use what she had there. So we were fortunate, very fortunate.
Yeah, that worked out extremely well. to tell the story. Let's talk about the story itself. What does it and what does it mean to you? I know you're AKA, and you know the legacies of the AKA. This is they paved the way for the future. So, what does it mean to you personally? This story.
Personally, I'm just really excited that we get to share the stories of all of these women because I I personally did. I knew of Nellie Quander because, to be transparent, I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, so I know that our history. I know about Nellie Quander, who was the woman who incorporated Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority and also was the first national president. But I did not know the history of the character that I played, Mary Church Terrell. I didn't know much about Edna Brown or Alice Paul. And with Mary Church Terrell, she was a formidable figure in her time. She was invited in 1904 to the International Congress of Women in Berlin, Germany, where she delivered a speech in English, French, and German and received 3 standing ovations. I feel like that is what really put her on the map, made her an international sensation. This was the first time, I believe, a Black woman had been invited to Europe to speak. And she was one generation from being enslaved. Both of her parents were enslaved. So European ideas and, the ideas of Black Americans at that time was enslaved people who were not educated. And so, with her going over there and delivering the speech, she was able to be a really positive force and a positive uh, being for Black people and education. So for me, I'm excited and thrilled to be a part of sharing this history and bringing to light the intelligence of these women and the accomplishments of these women and the sisterhood of these women, and that we did not always have the right to vote. And it's a little disturbing that people have kind of taken advantage of that and don't realize that it's a very important thing that we get out and vote because we have people who have come before us that fought really hard to get that right.
Absolutely, and just this one thing I like about this film is it's it's a piece of history. There's so much you can learn about it before the march, what led up to it, afterwards. I enjoyed the the captions and the photos at the end talking about the march, and also but still this is during the whole Jim Crow era. It wasn't until the Voting Rights Act of '65 until Black people had the chance to really vote without any restrictions. And so I just love how this has so many jumping off points from this film. Have you received that type of response as well? People have said to you, "Oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. I'm doing this and that."
Yes, yes. That's the short answer. Yes. We have had people, all people who have viewed it. Actually, we were a part of a film festival, Pan African Film Festival in California. And one of the evenings was a huge body of women, Black women from the Links and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. And afterwards, there was a brief discussion, and a lot of them, well, everybody said, well, I didn't know this. I didn't know all of this history, and these are grown women, they're not children, and they didn't know the history. So I feel like we're all still learning. There's so much history to be told, and everyone feels, I think, really empowered and excited about learning more.
It is exactly, and like I said, it's timeless because this story is something it's just a true story, but it's done in such a really dramatic way that makes it interesting. I'm sorry that Ed is under the weather, but since you're connected to Ed personally, what do you think he would want us to know about this film?
Well, Ed is sitting right here, so I can ask him, although he's not feeling too well. What would you want them to know about the film?
Well, the importance of how
Can you hear him?
the
Yes,
film,
we can hear you.
Okay.
yeah, I feel that it will inspire people to want to learn more about it. You know, I mean, these are people that existed that we hope that folks will get together, and I mean, as many people that we try to get to see this film, but we want the people to just remember and not forget these people. Basically, that's what it is, you know. And it's not like rocket science, you know. I think that these are important women, you know, and it's just a story that deserves to be told. You know, it's that important to us, and this is like Ms. Red said earlier. In the beginning, I was more interested in trying to get people to see my darling do her work, you know, to find out, you know, it's a very competitive thing out here trying to get acting work. And I think that this might open up some doors for it, you know. Hopefully, this is the beginning. This is our first film, and we're very surprised that at this point we have gotten maybe 9 laurels for different. I mean, just being accepted into a festival is wonderful, and well, it's hard to know what's going to happen, but everything has been very positive, and I don't think if we had a chance to do it all over, I think we would do it the same way. Yeah.
And why I have you here, Ed? Just one more question. It's not a women's story. It's a piece. It's a historical point, story as well too. As a male, what did you add to the film? Even though it was, talk about women's movement and sororities and so forth. What did you add to the film from a male's perspective so it can be a story for everyone?
Yeah, I'm just trying to that's a good question. We've watched the film ourselves over and over again, and each time I see it, we see something different. And then we try to think sometimes how people would receive this, and it's always different. You know, I hope that like I'm not too sure the students that you have. What ages are they?
They're middle school to high school.
Okay, and have all of them they've seen the film at this point?
This conversation is designed for them to
Okay.
watch the conversation after they have viewed the film. So yes.
Yeah, I'm just so sorry that I'm not feeling good because I had some good things that I want to say about the film. I mean, Messeret has basically said most of the things that I feel about it. But what you asked me about, what do I think that I added to it as a male? Well, I'm sympathetic to what went down with these women, and I think I added a lot of understanding, and the people that I know, other guys who get a chance to see the film. Well, as a matter of fact, the guys haven't cried, but we've had some private showings here at the house, and the women have cried. I mean, it's very touching to witness that. I was very surprised, but it's something that's very contemporary. It's still going on, as a matter of fact, what women are going through. But the whole voting issue is very key today, and we just shouldn't forget about it. And hopefully, this film will keep people on their toes and try to remember the importance of voting.
Well, great. As we wrap up here, what's next for the both of you? What can we expect to see from both of you besides being on the festival circuit?
Well, you know what? We're actors, and we kind of cannot predict from day to day what the future holds. We would like to extend this project and see what happens. But as far as our acting careers, we audition just like everybody else and kind of wait and see.
So is there a film, television program, commercial we can see both of you in coming up?
Not coming up, but if you want to go to Instagram, you know, there's a listing of all the things that I've done. I mean, I've been in films like Broadcast News, Presumed Innocent,
Head of
Mickey
State.
Blue Eyes, and Head of State. I mean, there's a lot of little films that I've had participation in, and I'm not sure about the future. I mean, I'm kind of sort of retired. I mean, the last thing I did was I did a cameo on a Stephen King
Documentary.
Film, a documentary that,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think of what else is there, but like you can understand.
Yeah.
Basically,
Well, I was gonna say Ed's career started in commercials and theater, so he was a commercial king. So you've probably seen him doing tons of commercials over the years.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's a different ball game today, though. But
Yeah,
back in the day, there was a lot of commercials that I did. Yeah. But hopefully, you know, I'm not looking for any work myself. Actually, I'm trying to push Messeret a little bit more, you know, because I think that she needs some help. You know, it's not easy, you know. But
thank you, my dear.
Yes, and I just want to say thank you to the both of you, Ed Wheeler, co-executive producer, Messeret Stroman Wheeler, co-executive producer and actress in the film. Thank you so much for joining us, Ed. I hope you feel better.
Thank you. I hope. I wish I could. Maybe we'll get a chance at another time and do some more face-to-face stuff. But I wouldn't want anybody to see me the way I feel right now.
Well, you sound fine.
Thanks so much.
Well, all the best to the both of you. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Yes, have a great day.
And thank you to our audience for joining us for this important and invigorating conversation. For more information about our upcoming film festival, please visit us at clevelandfilm.org. I'm Eric Siler. Thank you.